Hello, everybody. How are you descending into the valley here in Los Angeles? I thought we'd take some time to talk about another baseball term. This one is ground into double play. Kind of an obscure term. Now, the early days of the game was the impetus for this term, which is often the case in baseball terminology. And the problem was teams were having difficulty getting their players to make effective double plays, and it was becoming a larger part of the game. And they did the drills, they went over the skills, but nonetheless it wasn't taking, so they decided to take another approach to get the teams to relax, to get their heads out of their heads, to get them out of their heads. So they started serving free hamburgers before each game, before each practice. And that's where the term came from, ground, as in ground into double play, because, guys, it worked. It got the players out of their heads and encouraged them to think of the team as a family and as the leadership as benefactors that were there to help them, not just berate them for messing up double plays constantly. And sure enough, the double play became such a big part of baseball that to this day, the best teams are still serving free hamburgers before every game, before every practice, sometimes in the middle of the game. Okay, because they know of the connection in the players' minds. These are players that have been baseball fans their entire lives, guys. Entire lives. And they know of the history of the 1910s, 20s, and 30s, where the hamburgers became an effective tool to increase double play effectiveness, so much so that it became often the difference between winning a pennant and coming in number two. And we all know what number two is. It's the number one loser. So today, all good players. Now, you're saying, well, what if I'm a vegan? I don't want to eat a ground. Well, guys, come on. There are so many effective and tasty alternatives to regular meat. For example, the Impossible Burger, the Beyond Burger. I mean, they've got the bases covered, no pun intended, guys. And that's why ground into double play, you can look at a team stat in ground into double play and then know almost exactly where they are in the standings, just based on their ranking of their GIDP. In fact, it's such an integral part of baseball that's where the term GDP, or gross domestic product, evolved from. Because the head of the Fed at that time that was coming up with terms, and as the country got more developed and more intricate and more involved and more difficult to explain things to the layman, they decided to convert that term ground into double play into GDP, gross domestic product, to help explain the country's effectiveness and booming economy. Hence, once again, showing the intertwining of baseball and America, and why we can look forward to generation after generation keeping this game number one in the United States of America. I hope that helps.